Okay, he's playing with something, I'm sorry. Over the past few months, you've come here more than once, fishing out that small piece of essence from the ocean of knowledge that best suits your taste. You're quite relieved that Dan Hong isn't around. No one will be here to judge your reading taste. I'm judging! I am judging! The scroll at hand shows a line of small text. Non-standard reading material. Please return to its original place after borrowing. Do not let any grave professor discover it. 10 exclamation marks. It's the part where we are apparently reading fanfic. I don't know, man. I don't know. ZZZ has Lycon and Hugo fanfic at this point. Like, what should I tell you? What should I tell you? It seems that the scholars of the Grove, amidst their brief and academic discussions, haven't forgotten their little hobbies. So which reading material will you peruse? Oh. Forbidden Love! The tree and the tree and the butterfly. My Professor can't possibly be this shy. One Punch God, Aquila. Can I read all of them? I wanna go with the professor. Oh my god, we're actually reading! Okay. Let me drink something. Oh god. Sorry I'm late. I used the power of Cognos Bloom to climb over the vines, rushing to the classroom and nervously pulling open the door, only to make eye contact with the person I had an appointment with. Professor Bailey were 30. He was leaning casually against the stone lecture, loose and relaxed. The scholar's robe gleamed bright in the dim light of the Evernight, giving off an almost divine aura. The first class, and already late. Looks like someone is eager to meet Thanatos. In other words, this was our first one-on-one lesson, and that just totally blew it from the start. Probably even Circes would have felt embarrassed looking at such a sorry scene. Luckily, I had already come up with a plan. Sorry, Professor, I'll do anything to make it up to you. Anything? Please, I hope you'll be lenient. All these words, the professor's face broke into a charming smile. Then, I want you to teach me. Wait. Professor? I want you to break down the points in this paper, word by word, and explain them to me slowly. Although there was no mirror here, I could guess that my face had turned red from the sudden and direct request. But, Professor, I'm still just a student intern. Isn't it a bit too early for me to do something like this? I finally worked up the courage to say it. Do you want me to waste the lesson I prepared? You fool. At least wait until after class? If that's what you prefer, then fine. But don't forget, I still haven't forgiven you. So what should we study first today? Why don't we peruse this academic journal? I think they recently published a paper on the patterns on natural numbers. That's good. Come on, let's have a look. The research paper was immensely valuable, but I couldn't even grasp the basic arguments as I was too deeply engrossed in the professor's sharp gaze. He looked so rational when he was immersed in numbers. Nothing less than unexpected from the professor I cherished so much. After that, we experienced an enriching lesson. We wandered through the classical literature exhibitions, eagerly absorbing the newly compiled Titan Faith studies. Finally, we lingered in the dreams woven by the latest works of the Erythrokeramism school. It's fucking hells. So much so that we completely forgot. The bell signaling the curtain fall hour rang, and we looked at each other. Class was over. More than once, I had resented time for its seemingly linear flow, yet I remained powerless to interfere with it. The professor looked at me and paused for a moment, as if making some kind of decision. Then muttered, "Got your paper. I'll help you revise it." Really? You mean it? Yes. You're a student I take great pride in. I've been considering this for some time. Professor, let me understand your thoughts, your research, your everything. No further words were needed. The seekers of knowledge, driven by instincts, began their deep exploration of ideas. At that moment, we had yet to realize that after this lesson, another name would appear in the acknowledgement of the paper. And in the end, this would be the very spark that led to the founding of our academic symposium. Extra credit? What is this? What am I reading? For finishing this mind-shaking piece, only one image remains in your mind. The expressed wealth. What? The thought I'm getting out of this is Grandpa Welt? one session after they were finished teaching, reading, whatever. And that's the thing I'm thinking about? Seriously, I could have chosen any other guy from that express. And it's Old Man Welt. Okay, whatever. Whatever. For young Stellarine host, this type of literature remains far too ahead of its time. Sure, whatever you say. Okay, the forbidden love. She wandered through the flower sea, searching for a glimpse of those fluttering butterfly wings, but without success. Sir, I've heard that every flower has its own floriography. Generally speaking, the perception is correct. Can you cats stop? What are you guys doing there? You're jumping around like idiots. She heard the voice, but couldn't see the speaker, yet Circes paid it no mind. She calmly responded to her most special student while scanning her surroundings. What is a floriography? I'm afraid I'm not a flower, but a tree. Evidently, this answer failed to satisfy the other party. A sound mingled with dissatisfaction and disappointment reached her ears, prompting her to add another remark. Well, if we're just speaking metaphorically, I suppose it would be intelligence. However, her objective was nearly accomplished. It should be around here somewhere. Now, she just needed to find some bait to draw her out. Intellectual, yet also romantic? Perhaps it's because I hibernate? You see, in my long dreams, I've made promises to countless lovers. Really? The butterfly-winged girl suddenly rose from the thicket before Circe, startling her slightly. After all, at this moment, the distance between them was virtually non-existent. Gazing directly at Menestia's face, allowing the light reflecting from her lips to pass through her eyes, a hint of crimson flashed across Circe's face, almost imperceptible to onlookers. Of course, her composure wavered for only a moment. Then Circe wrapped her arms around the girl's waist, and, as if pulling up a radish from the ground, then he lifted her from the flower thicket. Of course not. Got you now. Twisting her on the ground, the giant tree's incarnation gently stroked the butterfly wings with the edges of her leaves, confirming the other's normal state before slowly withdrawing. So, now, will you tell me? Why have you been avoiding me? Would you two please refrain from frolicking in my Antilla garden? A cold voice unseasonably interrupted their thoughts. Indeed, for the garden's master, the incarnation of death, such lively atmosphere was truly something akin to a natural enemy. Sorry, we'll leave at once. Thank you for listening to my travels, Madame Thanatos. Sir, let's return to the grove. Sorry, then, for troubling you. Honestly, you two are less, but Circe's. You must be aware by now, right? Bitter sensation spread in her mouth once more. Circe remained silent, merely nodding as she bid farewell to her old friend. On the way back to the grove, Menestia remained completely silent. After one unsuccessful attempt to question her, Circe struggled to find another opportunity to speak and simply focus on the path ahead. Voices of gossip reached them, causing irritation. A genius, or what? She's just like, so terrifying. A stone figure approached rapidly. It was, the source of the irritation. Menestia offered Circe a smile, then turned and walked away. Cast a sharp glance in the direction of the butterfly-winged girl's departure, then shifted his gaze back to Circe's. First came perfunctory reports and spiritless small talk, then escalation to arguments that resembled personal attacks. Do you truly understand? I don't need to. Let me be direct, Circe. To romance a student, even your own creation, don't you find that perverse? This was the first time the embodiment of reason allowed emotions to govern her mind. The sensation left on her palm felt as if it would scorch through the heart of the tree. From nearby came the sound of running footsteps, familiar yet somehow strange. Circe wanted to give chase immediately, but the words echoing in her ears stripped her steps. She was indeed somewhat distracted, allowing the girl's image to surface and fade in her mind repeatedly. When her resolve crystallized, the third curtain fall hour had slipped by. The personification of the giant tree approached the glided chrysalis, cried her beloved's name, and stilled, as if she had frozen. The traces left by the butterfly-winged girl who dwelled here were all but erased. Up in the foliage desk lay words, a maiden's first and final love letter. I love you, Circe. I've already received a graduation gift after all, so forget me. Oh, that was sad. That was really sad. That's it? Nothing else? This love story abruptly ends in its worst moment. Whether the author lost the motivation to continue or some urgent situation occurred remains unknown. If it were the latter, the Flame Reaver is fully responsible. Yeah, I'm sure it was the Flame Reaver. Okay, one punch, God. Brushing up the dust that had settled on him, he adjusted his attire and stood firm, facing the giant eagle in a tense stand-up. So you think you're something special just because you defeated the silent Gyrius? Mortal, heed my advice. The God King remained silent, gazing into Aquila's 1,000 eyes. Slowly, he raised his right arm, 4 fingers pressed together, and with a simple motion, he lightly waved at the colossal being before him. Arrogant fool, you will pay the price for your insolence. Aquila's fury erupted, the towering form radiating intense heat. In an instant, their massive wings vibrated at an imperceptible speed. 1,000 razor-sharp feathers shot forth like swords, hurtling straight toward the God King. As everyone knows, the feathers of the Sky Titan can pierce through iron and steel, let alone mortal flesh. The sheer density left no room to evade. The violent storm of lethal blades closed in, and time itself seemed to freeze. Aquila enhanced their reflexes, predicting the movement of this arrogant little thief before them. Noticing the God King shifting his stance, Aquila mused. He had only 2 choices. He could push off the ground to evade left or right, or stand firm and brace for impact. But either way, it would be futile. The feather blades would shift with the wind, alerting their trajectory. No matter how swift his movement, they would follow him relentlessly. But who could have predicted the God King never intended to dodge? He pushed forward instead, seizing the first incoming feather blade between 2 fingers. With a swift turn, he carved a spiral through the air and hurled it back at supersonic speed. The feather blade curved with the wind, piercing deep into the storm. Without the slightest deviation, it collided tip to tip with another razor-sharp steel feather. Ding! The deflected feather whirled to the sides upon impact, colliding with other and further alerting their trajectories. Ding! The sharp clashing of feathers rang out in an irregular rhythm, a chain reaction unfolding until the force of the final feather was dissipated, scattering harmlessly into the air. With just a single seized feather, the God King had nullified the entire storm of blade like wings. Aquila was shocked. How could a mere mortal possess such divine skill? Yet, as a being of godly essence, they did not allow themselves to be shaken. Seizing the moment as the scattered feathers clouded their vision, they swiftly brought down their claws, sharp as steel, a greatsword aiming to end the battle in a single decisive strike. Boom. The massive claw struck that center where the God King stood, the sheer force of impact carving a deep crater into the ground. No. Something felt off. Aquila's mind raced. The sensation was strange. Had it missed? Or... They focused their gaze only to witness the impossible. Their enormous razor-sharp claw, many times larger than the God King himself, was caught, held effortlessly in a single hand, as if the God King were merely grasping a piece of cutlery. The countless white feathers drifting through the air painted an eerie contrast against the battlefield's deadly stillness. The once mighty and untouchable giant eagle found itself frozen in shock, for the first time in 1,000 years. Muttering in disbelief, they said, "Impossible. Even Gyrius, when fighting me, could do nothing but wade beneath my iron claws. But you, what in the world are you? Haven't you already figured out the answer? A mere mortal, nothing more." Cocky little! Aquila attempted to retract their claw, but under the God King's grip, it was as if frozen in place, completely immobile. The expression darkened. Seeing this, the God King seemed to smile. He clenched the finger of his free hand, and then, at a speed even a Titan's vision could not perceive, with full force, he swung his fist. In an instant, the divine body shattered. A tidal wave of force shook the heavens, sending tremors through the divine steel-forged walls, cracking them in multiple places. The sacred temple teetered on the brink of collapse. From this moment on, the celestial realm would exist no more. The people of Amphorius would no longer endure the tyranny of the heavens. And all of this was made possible by the God King's mighty blows. No, by a single punch. A distant Titan god sensed the fall of their comrade and erupted into furious howls. Was there no one who could stop him? How could his advance ever be shaken? What they did not realize was that even one as mighty as the God King was still bound by the desires of mortals. Just as before the battle began, he once again adjusted his attire. Congratulations. You have reached your end, Aquila. You are strong enough to be worthy of the name Sky Titan. He ignored the crumbling stone walls behind him and strode towards the temple's exit. His steps were steady, yet the disappointment on his face was unmistakable. But your only flaw was failing to make this satisfying for me. Next episode, battling Nikodor. Next issue is on hiatus. I don't think we're ever gonna get the Nikador fight. Invigorating literature, your favorite. This article leaves you feeling empowered, as if you are the authors of One Punch God Incarnate. Kai Titan Aquila? That's nothing. Oh, I bet the literature is just as good as what we were reading. Okay, what's Finon reading? Where is my boy? Finon? That's ma'am. Let me sneak a peek at what you're reading, buddy. Hmm? But I wanna know what you're reading. I'm just curious what you're reading. Oh, my shit was embarrassing. Oh. Are you reading a crypto scam? Are you reading a crypto scam? I know how in your dreams. Maybe it's time to find a different psychic. Yeah. Oh, fine on, but you would fall so hard for crypto shit. I Fine on! Buddy, don't. Okay, listen. I think you're beyond saving. Go do your crypto scams. It's fine. Okay, ma'am, what are you reading? Why does everyone want to fish today? Yeah, are you into fishing? I mean, I didn't. I was loud enough coming up to you. What is Mem hiding? Ma'am, girlie, what are you hiding? What are you looking at? Use them flexibly, don't just memorize. Use them flexibly. If we meet again, we're in the same goddamn room. Okay, thank you. What are you doing, girlie? Yeah, I am. Well, we were making a commotion here. Good. Keep far away from that book, buddy. A surprise. Was that your childhood friend? Sister thing? I don't remember what she was. Well.
それに僕たちにはトリノン先生がいるだろ。外れたことのない先生の予言と比べたら 占いなんて
I don't know if her prophecies are flawless. Little faith in these things isn't burdensome. It shouldn't be approached with a it should be approached with a critical eye.
占いには心を導く力があると思う。運命はこの先の未来に影を落としていろいろと見えづらくしちゃう。それらを乗り越える勇気を得るために人々は占いを必要としてるんじゃないかしら。
You've really thought about this. What if divination predicts something bad? Yeah, what then?
占いにはいい結果と悪い結果がある。だから少なくとも悪い兆しは注意を促してくれるでしょ。
They could also make us be very, very, very paranoid.
不思議だな。僕の知ってる彼女も似たようなことを言っていたよ。思い返多分彼女の言い方のせいだ。
Cyrene was her name, yeah.
キュレネ。彼女は不確かな夢をそうだ。彼女が昔使ってたカード。
Oh,
まだ
sure. Show me. Oh, it's you. That's just you. Yeah, gotta craft a man-specific deck.
確かに水晶とか他の素材に変えてくれたら嬉しい。
そうだ相棒。ずっと話せないでいたことがあるんだけど、僕たちが初めて運命の三層殿に行った時のことを。
But you wanted to offer something. You wanted to offer the card?
誰だ?
Oh, come on! Oh my god, what is of the... Oh, really?
お前たちは
You couldn't do shit against Don Hong, please. The nice cosplay. Assassin! Save me, fine
どう
on!
やら悪者みたいね。
黒い衣装に金色の血の装飾が施された覆面。粛清者か。
Cleaners?
私たちのことをご存知とは。失われたオンパロスの歴史について。
What's being cleaned? Clothes or cars? Oh, they don't even know
ご
what
友
cars
人は
are.
我々に興味をお持ちのようですね。説明してあげてはどうですか、ファイノン様。
Walmart ninjas.
大事なお客様に状況をつかめぬまま退場していただくわけには参りませんか。
Oh, you think really highly of yourself if you think you can even touch me.
黄金栄に対抗するために多くの黄金の血が流れるものをこの世から抹殺する。
Oh, damn.
それが粛清者たちの使命だ。
それらの資料は少し視点が偏っているようですね。先達たちの偉業に泥を塗るだけでなく、よければ著者の名前を教えていただけますか。オークヘイマの天真爛漫な子供たちがそのようなものに毒され
Oh,
る
can I just beat you up?
お前たちは歴史の陣合とともに去るべきだ。民会は黄金栄の使命に影に隠れた処刑人に投票するような市民など。
それがどうしました。我々は理解。彼らは平和になれ忘れているのです。黄金栄たちが権力を握ってい
You
た
know what's funny, by the way? Don Hong was alone, and he had 4 assassins to face. We are technically 2.5 people if we count Mem, and they only sent 3. So they think really little of Trailblazer and fine on.
たわごと。そんなことを言うために。
まさか。ですが、ファイノン様のような潔い方と話すの。
Yeah, can we just let our
我
fists
々が
speak,
皆
please?
様の前に現れた理由なら。
Handful of you here. Who do you think you're yeah. If it's a fight you want, let's get on with it. Enough chit chat. Let's go! Fighting, fighting, fighting!
あいつらが影から出てきたということは。僕たち
They're
を
gonna
牽制
tell me
でき
they
る
actually
何
like
かを
got
持っている
Don
という
Hong. I'm gonna scream.
さあ、言ってみろ。一体どんな手札を隠し持っているんだ。肩も凝ってるし、剣先も鈍ってるだろうけど、お前たちの舌を切り落とすくらいの
Okay,
余裕
buddy,
だ。
chill.
どうヒヤンシーちゃん。ここならぴったりでちょ。ちょっと狭いかもだけど日当たり。ありがとうございます、トリビー様。イカルンもここが好きですか。こ こんなに明るいんだっち。名前も変えてみたらどう？それもいいかもしれませんね。ですが、そっか。おトリビー様でも忘れちゃう。長いこと
The way we just constantly skipping when we are about to fight pisses me off.
あ、そうだ。クレムノスと青い空第3巻。妖雷の騎士セネオスが神官の目を打ったことにより、ニカドリーとエーゴルの間で繰り広げられていたその後、天空の民は衰退の一途をたどり、多くの天空の城が廃棄された。セネオスの血を継いだ一族がサーシスの学者に受け入れられたことで、なんとなく私たちの記憶と食い違ってるみたいだけど、でも具体的にどう違うのか。そうでした。トリビー様にとっての歴史は辞書に記されているものだ。
I don't know what this thing is, but it's really cute.
イカルンは本当にこういった話が好きですね。あなたも英雄セネオスが狩る翼獣のように、あなたがちゃんと大きく育てば。
Oh.
ケラウドルス様？
ヒアンシー、
Yes.
それからトリビー様も無事で何よりだ。
無事？何かあったの？ケラウ。
市場でまた悪質な事件が起きたんだ。
What?
店舗が襲撃されてな。これ
そんな。アグライア様がいるオクヘイマはずっと平和そのものか。
People are terrible everywhere.
昔ならな。だが最近は。
ナイアちゃん。
今回の騒動もおそらくだが、禁止の緩みを感知した者が。
民会が終わったばかりだっていうのに。
黄金栄は一票の差でギリギリ勝っているからな。多くの戦地を経験してきた者から言わせると、
It wasn't an overwhelming win. And it was kind of like Anoxa who voted, who helped us. Oh no, what's happening?
大丈夫ですから。皆さん、隕石の天狗が大変なことになって。
大変なこととは？
アグライア様です。
Oh no, what's with Leah?
アグライア様です。
Huh? What happened to her?